Hey guys, welcome on into the Big Access Podcast. Today we have got a special guest with us. This is a really special episode. So if you have not, if you're not watching this on YouTube, make sure you hit pause on that and you go out and actually watch the video of this, because today we are at the Pedestal Pro Factory, where they are going to go around and take us around a tour, showing us how they make all their awesome pedestals and how they work with all the PDK products to make sure that you guys are having a aesthetically pleasing yet robust and capable installation. But we've got Pike Goss here, who is the founder of Pedestal Pro, with us, who's going to go around taking us around the whole facility, showing us how they go about creating these pedestals and how they go from scrap metal to being in your hands. So Pike, thanks very much for taking us around today.
Brock, we're so delighted to have you guys, your team here, to be able to show this stuff off. We love our relationship with PDK. I don't know if everybody knows this or not, but we're only divided by a few miles.
We're pretty dang close.
You know, here in Utah, and so we're always excited to have you here. We'd love to show each of you the wonderful world of pedestal making, and it's quite a fascinating process. We hope you enjoy.
Awesome. Thanks, Pike. Let's go ahead and do it.
Great. So we built our building 6 years ago thinking it was going to carry us, and we're already beginning to outgrow our building, which you'll see here in a minute. But we've got material that flows through one door from point A, and the object of the game is to get the material to the other side of the door at stage Z. So one of the most difficult parts of our business is bending square steel tubing. And so we've had to purchase a machine that actually bends steel like butter. Unlike wood, steel is very forgiving, but it's also very difficult to bend. And so there's some very high pressures on this machine. You'll put a tube over a mandrel, and this arm latches onto the tube, and that entire arm bends this small 2x2 tube. And it's a very difficult process. We have done this tube bending several places overseas as well as in the US. It was very difficult to get consistent bends, and so we've invested in this process internally, and so we can control the quality. So over here we have a standardized list of materials that we use on a daily basis, between stainless steel, mild steel, aluminum, in all their shapes and sizes, rectangular, square, round. And so we're able to draw those from this material and send it through a saw and begin and descend it down this wall, this line, to cut holes and to tap holes and to configure the tube for a final assembly stage. And here we have a water jet application where we actually bury a tube, and with 50,000 pounds per square inch, we will cut through stainless and steel, and we will shape and form hole patterns in those tubes that perfectly fit all your devices.
50,000 pounds of pressure, did you just say?
Yep, with sand, essentially with garnet and with water, it cuts it like butter. But the water jet actually operates at 3 inches a minute.
Wow.
So it's actually a slow process for us. And there's some other better ways to do that we'll show you here in a minute. But it's a fascinating process. It's all done underwater. So as you can see here, we have a series of tubes, and we're able to cut out hole patterns, including small round mounting holes or device holes for flush mounts. And in this particular case, it's steel, it's 4x4, but we've got 3 devices that are going to go on this unit. We've got a top, a middle, and a bottom. And for us, this process on the water jet only takes us minutes to do. In this case, we only have a single device, and it's just going to be a flush mounted device when we get, when everything is all said and done with this particular tube. And these are aluminum. So again, regardless of the material and the shape and size, we can accommodate all kinds of devices in their varieties for installer applications. And so on this particular machine, it's nothing but a knife, and it cuts 10 feet or less shaped sheets. And so without using a water jet or a longer, more expensive process, we have our fabricators that can just take blanks like this, put them up against a back gauge on the shear, hit a pedal, and cut these and carve these out into different square and rectangular shapes for finished fabrication. And you always have to have one of these when you're fabricating metal as well. This is called a press brake. There's 120 tons of pressure that comes down on whatever you're bending, and we will take specially cut sheets. This happens to be a cover for either a hood or a housing. We will program the bends and the sequence of bends, and then literally you can put these against the back gauge, hit the pedal, and the tonnage will come down and bend these flat sheets into the shapes and forms that we need in order to send out to market.
Wow. Don't get your fingers caught in that.
And if you've done a good job, you'll end up bending these flat sheets into these particular shapes. And the key is getting these tight tolerance and locations that can actually be clamped and welded. And so as the tubes and the flat sheets that are bent come together into these fabrication booths, we have 7 full-time fabricators who all pull from the queue, from the orders that you send in. And we'll fabricate hundreds of pieces or single pieces, making sure that they perform their function in the final location. And so whether it's a single unit or multiple units, they come off the fabrication line. And if they're stainless steel, we've got to finish and grain the stainless so that if you order something from us a year ago or 2 years ago and you want to add to your project or you want to replace something, we're able to match the mirror finished corners or that particular grain finish to match what we've done yesterday. So you'll have full continuity through your projects. And so in the center of our space, we have polishing machines that provide that continuity for us. This machine will do the square and the rectangular tubes. This machine will do the flat sheets. And this machine on the other side does the round and elliptical shaped tubes over there. Okay, and all pedestals that come off of the rack go onto carpeted tables. There's no scratching allowed that's allowed to leave the shop. And so whether it's a powder-coated, a very bright powder-coated color, or whether it's custom stainless pieces, it all gets properly handled on these soft surfaces. This is where we wrap everything with foam, top to bottom, and we can box small units at this point and get them out the door for you. But here, all the orders flow through the shop, actually from sales, custom sales, general sales, through engineering, through production. It ends up in a shipping location. And I'm going to show you the systems that we use to follow your recommendations, your preferences, your timing, your budgets from top to bottom all the way through our shop until it lands on a truck.
So Pike, that was a really cool tour of your whole production facility. I mean, you guys have everything to create this all from scratch. So it's really, I'm pretty dang impressed by the whole process that goes into it. You guys clearly take your time to engineer this thing correctly. You guys take the time to make sure that they are well done and that by the time that they leave your facility, they are in perfect, great condition that is going to last a long time for the customers out there. So great quality. Great capabilities down there. I was really impressed. So what I want to learn now is a little bit more about how it works with PDK specifically. So obviously we manufacture all sorts of different access control hardware types, and we do run into situations where you can't necessarily get a reader in a situation. That's where you guys really come into play. So how would a partner go about discovering products that we might be able to use with PDK?
Yeah, that's awesome. We're excited to show you that too. By the way, from engineering all the way through to production, we guarantee lead times of 12 to 15 business days, and it's out the door. We do the engineering within minutes or hours, like we stated earlier, but you could even expedite the projects. So we'll actually do same day. If they send us, if they draw something on a napkin, take a picture of it, send it to us, we'll engineer it, get their approval, pull from our materials, and put it all the way through that process and out the door by 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Dude, that's crazy.
So we got some pretty fun capabilities. But let me show you how this applies to some of your partners.
Okay.
The idea is to make the shopping process for pedestals and housings and PDK devices as simple as possible. We have a 3-click goal. If we're doing something within 3 clicks or less, we've made it so easy that they want to choose PDK and Pedestal Pro together.
Yeah.
When you go to pedestalpro.com, we actually have an OEM section here up top. And it's the same section as you see for the other, many manufacturers that we supply in the industry. But if you go up to OEM and you click, as your first click, it will give you a library of these manufacturers. And Pro Data Key is in alphabetical order. It's right here, and as you scroll over, you can see we have 7 Pro Data Key devices in our library. And we have 12 Pedestal Pro solutions that actually mount those 7 devices. So now I'm going to use up my second click. Click on Pro Data Key, and here we populate the 7 devices that we have in the system.
There's all of our readers right there. That's awesome.
And so as an example, the Touch I/O system, which we love, because we get solution requests all the time for the Touch I/O, you can see here that we actually have 4 Pedestal Pro solutions, 4 ways of mounting this Touch I/O. And I'll go ahead and click on that as my third click. I am now on our page, and at a convenience, we show you nice photography so that you know that you're on the proper page by device.
That's good. We'll take that.
We have put the Pro Data Key link right here to your home page, and we've put the actual device product page link right here. This is how you describe it as a manufacturer, and here are its dimensions. And we've had some fun because we even have not just a photography view, but a little line view that as we build out a system here, probably this upcoming year of how to configure your own pedestal, we can lay these views over our views and create really special solutions. But what it does here is it sorts 310 different configurations in the back of the house and what's most meaningful to this PDK device. And the very first thing that it maps out for us is anything that's designed specifically for this RDR BT model. And here I have 3 different solutions that are already ready to go. You can tell that these are device specific because they have a blue icon. And if you roll over the blue icon, you can see which devices these things have been configured for in our library in the past. All Pro Data Key. From this first section, you can move on to a second section, which is, do we have any other SKUs that are not only device specific, but are compatible with? Meaning they might fit some other readers or some other systems too, but they're available for this particular unit. And we actually have a buffer plate that will help the read range from time to time, make sure it meets its standard that you guys specify. And if you go down further, anything that we have that could be easily customized, like a different hole cutout pattern or a particular dimension that we might have to tweak it just a little bit, but we can pull it from our library, make that adjustment, design it really quickly, and out the door it goes. Yeah, and so a third section here is compatible to, is beyond anything that's device specific or compatible with. We can customize up to 310 SKUs back there that make sense for PDK devices. We just need a little tweak. We don't have to reinvent the wheel, we just need a little tweak. And so in this third and final section, it allows you to see all the different product categories between bollards to cabinets, which are a fancy way of saying wide bollards.
Yeah.
Gooseneck pedestals and all their varieties, to housings, to hoods, knowing that these form factors actually meet form factors of the specific PDK device. And so it really opens up the world and makes shopping for mounting solutions for anything PDK related extremely easy and user-friendly.
That's awesome.
One last thing is if we were just to go in and click on one of these, I'm going to use up my final click on this one where I think I'm using up my 4th click.
Yep.
We'll go in this particular page, and you can see here that this unit actually combines the Pro Data Key Touch I/O with the Comlet 316. So this is a combination unit.
Yeah, it's super slick. You've got one downstairs. We have one over in our office, and every time I look at it, it's just like, man, this is manufactured right. I mean, it is so flush mounted. You would never tell that it's multiple devices put into one.
Awesome.
It looks like you guys made everything with it.
That's awesome. Well, thank you. You can click on our photography and get a much better view. And this is what you're describing as the PDK cutouts have already been pre-configured. And in this situation, the 316 is embedded in the sidewall of the pedestal to make it look very European, very flush. But on top of that, aside from our small description, we actually put all the documentation right here in a way that's very easy for you to find and get to. The very first document we put in front of you is the engineering drawings. And from here, you'll see that we have specified it mounts a PDK Touch I/O right here in our engineering drawings. We point to its location. Your partners have access to all the mounting dimensions on the base plate that they need, and you know, an isometric view of what it might look like. Beyond the drawing, we have installation guides. We have construction specifications for engineers and DWGs for them to just drag and drop into their systems.
Perfect.
Things like ADA standards, pedestrian height charts, vehicle height charts. We put it all in front of you to make it really, really simple.
Man, so easy, right? It's very intuitive. Somebody's going to be able to get in here and just understand where they need to go to do what they need to do.
That's the hope.
Reminds me a lot of PDK.
Yes, it does. And we love PDK's model of doing a lot of things right.
That's great. I like to hear that. Compliments are always welcome.
And last but not least, you scroll down this product page towards the bottom. You can customize things, but we actually put in front of you also things that have been bought together. We specify the bolt kit, the shim kits, and even a fan, a cooling fan, and a heater that fits in that particular model, so you can do all kinds of customization varieties and solve special problems.
Well, I mean, I think that's one thing that not a lot of people think of when they're thinking of a pedestal, right? This is more than just a way to display something or hold something up. There's a lot more that can go on in this thing. And so, like, you're talking a fan to help cool everything down. That's pretty crazy. I didn't even think about that before coming in here and seeing all that. So you guys are like a all-in-one solution, just getting to be able to make it so that these customers have everything that they need to make sure that they have an aesthetically pleasing and functional pedestal.
We hope so. With 500,000 installs globally, we've run across a lot of very special applications.
Yeah.
And we're trying to fill the gaps here so that mounting something becomes so simple, so easy through Pedestal Pro and through PDK that the answers are all here.
Well, I mean, it definitely looks like it.
Awesome.
Well done.
Well, that's what we had to show you today. We hope it's been a good education.
It's been so good. I've learned a lot about this, and hopefully those of you guys who are watching this episode, you guys are getting just a wealth of knowledge as well. Be sure to go out and check out Pedestal Pro. What's the website?
And we truly love PDK.
Well,
it's pedestalpro.com.
Pedestalpro.com, perfect. Go out there, check out all the pedestals. You guys are also stocked in some distributors as well.
We do.
Right? And so you can go ahead and reach out to your preferred distributor, see if they carry Pedestal Pro, but reach out to them. If you have not already done so, be sure to subscribe to this podcast, leave it a 5-star rating, and let us know if there's anything in particular that you are wanting to learn. But Pike, thanks a ton, man.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's been great.
Brock, our pleasure.
All right, guys, we'll see you.